widen the roads. I mean, I'm gonna use the buck 89, and we all gotta use priority, I think.
Okay.
That's my thought.
So personnel, I know that we have, we're currently advertising for a road crew position, and we have recently motioned within the last month to hire a township manager. I, myself, I am rethinking the manager position. After hearing Frank, after listening to more of the lawsuits and some of the issues there, I went back and I looked at Mike Silvestri's handbook, and I just wanted to point something out to our supervisors. The manager position was one that Mike Silvestri spoke on, and he actually wrote in detail on his management letter to the board. And it was something back in 2017, the board was interested in his opinion. Mike Silvestri did believe that Union Township had the financial capability at the time. And second, he talked in great length on the function of a manager and what a manager hopefully would do once you hire them, and all that would encompass that job description. But in this category C, he speaks to the township about the ability to recruit. He spoke saying that this is an issue. Being able to attract a manager in a small community such as Union Township is always an issue. This is impacted by the salary and benefit package as well as the attractiveness for the position. Often local governments in your position will hire someone right out of school because they are eager for a job. It is rare to find someone out of school with the maturity and ability to handle such a position. It does happen, and he spoke about being aware of one or two cases in the larger communities in his career. He then spoke about a retired manager as a possibility, or someone who worked in a position below manager in a larger community as an option. He bolstered the fact that anyone hired will need to be self-motivated with strong organizational skills and a people person. And he recommends salary ranges. He does speak on non-manager options, which I think this board has been functioning as a default without even really recognizing that we're doing it. And in that, he speaks about increased supervisor responsibility and working with your current staff to optimize everything you're doing in the township. We are doing that without knowledge. We're in the day-to-day working very hard to make sure things are managed here. And it's not ideal. I want more freedom from Union Township. I think that the manager would be perfect if we could find the exact person. I'm willing to consider sacrificing that, goal in the interest of keeping a very, very conservative budget. And yeah, so that I'll be quiet. Please speak on that point if you would like.
I agree with what you're saying. I mean, listening to where we're at financially and what projects we got coming, you're not going to get a township manager for less than $100,000 a year. And is he, guy you hire, is he going to work out? Is he not going to work out? I would, my opinion, I'd say hold off on this until we see where we're at with the roads, EQT kicks in, etc. We've gone this far without a township manager. We go a little bit further. As long as the board's doing their job, that's just my opinion.
I agree with the manager, only I have a little bit more, I guess, critical to say. I do not think we need one. I think the township's too small for a manager. I know what needs to be done on the roads. The problem is, there's not enough money. It's easy to fix it. To me, a manager is just going to give you a bigger list of stuff that needs to be done. We're on top of it. I think a manager is a luxury for a township this size. I actually wanted to talk to Gary if we could hire a management company, like they do out on construction jobs. They come in and just manage it. I think it's a couple day a week position, although I say I know what needs to be done, I have my arms around it, that's on the outside. I'm sure these ladies are looking at me right now, they would like to have more help on the inside. That's where probably a manager would help. I can't deny that. It just, to me, the size, I'm sure you're gonna have to pay $100,000 plus benefits, plus he's gonna have to be using a vehicle more. I just don't think we can even afford it this time. I would really like to not hire a manager. I would like to possibly look into, if we're allowed to hire a management company to come in a couple days a week, if that's in the future. But for this budget, I say the road crew is where we put the money right now. That's my opinion.
Okay, any other opinions, Dave or Chuck?
It all sounds good to me.
Of course.
The only problem I have with the manager is the amount of time you put in this township. You know, the amount of time, and I don't think a lot of people understand how much of her life goes into this township.
Who cares?
Of every day. And how many phone calls, you know, we have throughout the day with, you know, me talking to Rick or Hal or Chuck or Heather every day. You know, when I got appointed to this position a year ago, I was told we was having 2 meetings a month.
Well,
I mean, you know, and it's something that we need to look at, is to take a lot of the stress off of, you know, especially you, Rick. How many hours a week do you put into this?
Yeah, but if I didn't do that,
Yeah.
I'd probably end up with a divorce, so saving my marriage.
But, you know, yeah, I mean, right now, yeah, I don't think we can.
Well, why
Before
don't
the
we,
manager.
we'll have this on the agenda, Bobby, if you could place this as a discussion item, or a discussion item and further, so we can,
Could I just make a comment?
yes, absolutely.
And this is from doing municipal law for 40 years. Your management duties are basically, and this is not ideal, are being handled partly by my firm, partly by the Harshman firm, partly by the Palermo firm, and of course the extraordinary amount of time that you two put in. I don't have any other townships where the city board members dedicate the amount of time that you do. And I don't even know how you put a value on that. But I only say that, that's how you're managing the firm. You're using 5 or 6 different professional areas. And that's also the reason why the engineering bills, the legal bills, forget the litigation part of it. There's a good portion of what we bill that basically is administrative assistance and help for the township. So the trade is, well, yeah, your legal, your engineering, your accounting bills may be a little bit higher, but you would pay $120,000 easy for a competent township manager if you could even find one, plus benefits. And when you're talking benefits, you're looking at the unemployment, the workers' comp, the pension contributions, the health insurance. You're not going to get anybody unless you give them family coverage. Family coverage is probably $1,600, $1,800 a month. That's the one benefit you get when you deal with a Sweatlaw or a Harshman. You pay our bill, but you don't have any employee benefits that you're having to pay. So I think it's important, as you look at different bills that come in, yeah, in a snapshot, they're really high. But you look at what they're doing and what you're not paying for to do that.
Well, in addition to that, I mean, again, I think somewhere that there will be a township manager, I hope for that. I'm concerned with the amount of infrastructure projects, roads and sewers being number one. If that wasn't the high priority, if I had to balance a budget, I guess we do have to balance a budget, and I look at the individuals, and I'm gonna say it, poor souls who have been living in the conditions that they're living, it's unacceptable, it's disgusting, I'm upset about it. And I want to focus all of the extra funds to solving those problems. They're critical, there's no other word for it, it's critical. That is the dilemma here. The infrastructure that hasn't been maintained and the luxury of having a well-oiled machine internally. I think the infrastructure is paramount. But, you know, again, let's put that on the agenda for next meeting. Solicitor and engineering, I think Gary covered that, I think